It doesn't matter how it is you come to the events in your life. You want to come with an anticipation that you're going to see something. You're going to learn something. And that there's a choice about going for it. Our participation with our clients, our patients, is to help them go for it. He is 101 years old. Looks pretty good, doesn't he? That's because this picture was taken when he was 94. This guy participates in the Senior Olympic Games in triathlon. He wins the gold medal every time. Of course, there's nobody else in his age group. We're all coming and going. There is an end to becoming, even in Southern California. There is an end to becoming. So you want to come to the journey with an anticipation that even in its close, there's something that is going to teach us something.
Dr. Karl Hammerschlag. Dr. Hammerschlag is a Yale-trained psychiatrist, speaker, internationally recognized author, grandfather, fly fisherman, and healer. He is a pioneer in integrating today's popular mind-body-spirit medicine and is an expert in rapidly changing cultures. Dr. Hammerschlag understands the importance of sustaining connections and building community. His unique insights and visionary skills help people and organizations thrive. His experience working with Native Americans for more than 20 years profoundly changed and enriched his life. He has shared his journey in his 3 critically acclaimed books, The Dancing Healers, now in its 15th printing, The Theft of the Spirit, and Healing Ceremonies. He is also the author of 2 children's books. He holds the highest award in professional speaking, the CPAE Speakers Hall of Fame Award. In 1998, he was the recipient of the National Caring Award, an award given to one of the 10 most caring adults in America, chosen from more than 250,000 nominees. He is a bridge builder, pathfinder, and visionary who inspires people to reawaken their spirit and celebrate their choices, changes, and connections. Here is that rare combination of dreamer and doctor who will inspire you, challenging you to look at the familiar in new ways. Here to help us celebrate our choices, changes, and connections is Dr. Karl Hammerschlag.
As a company, you've gone through changes in the last month. I want to talk to you a little bit about how it is that we greet those changes and how it is that you're going to sustain yourself in heart and soul. I hasten to add that what I'm about to tell you is my opinion, and like Mike, I think my opinion is right. That's why it's my opinion. So I welcome also your disagreement. You are certainly entitled to disagree and be wrong, and I don't mean that. I will have a chance to talk about it a little bit afterwards. So let me preface my remarks in the time that we have together to suggest to you that the way it was is not the way it is. The way it was is the way it was, the way it is the way it is, and the way it's going to be is different than the way it is now. Change, as you have already heard, is the biological order of the universe. If you are not changing, you are dying. So somebody comes and says, Mike, you haven't changed in 10 years. This is not a compliment. People who haven't changed in 10 years are dead. In the short time that we have been together, you've already turned over about 10,000 cells in your circulatory system. The entire cellular structure changes in about 3 days, the lining of the stomach in about 5 weeks, the liver in about 6 months. Change is the biological order of the universe. And I can tell you, as a general rule, that as a species, most of us don't like change. We can find more ways to do the same old thing in the same old way, even if it's relatively dysfunctional, then we can find reasons to make change. So I want to posit for your consideration at the outset that if you're looking for reasons to keep doing it like you always knew it, there will always be more reasons to perpetuate the status quo than there will be reasons to take the risk to make the change. This is not the journey of heroes. Sooner or later, all of us are going to face something that we don't know diddly squat about. If you have to know it before you do it, you will only do what you've always done. Because the only things you know are the things you've already experienced. Everything else is a guess. But we hang on to the way we learned it. All of us. We hang on to old behaviors. We hang on to old facts. Most of us learn how to do things by the time we're 5 or 6 years old. And then we continue to do them. I learned by the time I was 5 or 6 not to cry. I still have difficulty crying. I tell you this without pride. My children have not seen their father cry, perhaps a handful of times. I would like them to be able to see it, but for me, crying was the equivalent of being weak, an issue I may allude to later. God forbid, I would cry in a movie theater and one of my patients were to see me and they would say, "Oh my God, did you see Hammerschlag, that hopeless wimp? He was crying."